Lions go to St. Louis, take on the Rams. Take on the Rams, and I like the Lions defense a lot. That's the headliner for me, is stream the Lions defense.
Yes, I think the Lions are a top streaming defense this week. Have we heard any news if it's Nick Foles or Keenum? Have you guys heard anything? As far as I know, it's still Nick Foles.
Yeah, I think it's still Nick Foles until we get a clearance for Mr. Keenum.
And as far as I know, it doesn't matter if it's Nick Foles or Case Keenum.
Nick Foles will start at quarterback for the Rams.
There you go.
15 hours ago.
So the Lions are a great streaming option. Stafford, I think he's an okay play here. The over-under is only 40.5 points. I mean, that's lower. That's on the lower end for sure. But Stafford, with the offensive changes they've made, has been playing better, at least in terms of putting up fantasy stats. The guy that I want to talk about, Amir Abdullah, not just because he was I was passionate about this man coming into fantasy drafts and has since gone the way of the dodo bird.
Yes.
However, St. Louis is giving up over 4 yards a carry the last 3 weeks. Abdullah is coming off his best game of the year on the ground. He's had double-digit carries the last 3 weeks. Things are trending in the right direction to finish the season for Amir.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Because the team's playing well. It was so disappointing for their momentum to have what happened at the end of the Packers game, because they had just been playing so well. They won that game. I guess that's not true.
Yeah.
But
not in the win-loss column.
Right.
They didn't
But this
win.
should be a good game for them. Stafford's a good start. Foles was 15 for 35 for 146 yards
bad?
last game. That's a nightmare season for Foles. That somehow he got an extension in the middle of it, and that just shows.
No, because he got in classic Jeff Fisher nature, he got the extension before he even saw him play.
I'll tell you what, this game is a Jeff Fisher on call type of game.
So, yeah,
I think they go to the Lions and they lose.
Well, they're at home,
or they have the Lions come to town and they lose. I'm just saying it's not looking good for the future of Fisher.
I agree. He'll get fired too if they show up in Detroit
Yeah.
and the Lions
what
are
are
in
you
St.
doing?
Louis.
All of our fans came and you weren't here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's no one at the stadium.
I want to really know this, though, because a lot of people that I've been telling to stream the Lions, who do you stream them over? Like, the Lions seem so safe to me. They seem like one of the safest defenses in, like, if you're a favorite, okay, would you rather play the Lions than the Chiefs?
No.
Because the Lions,
yes.
The Lions are facing a Rams offense that can't score at all.
And
the Chiefs are facing San Diego team that, okay, they've struggled a little bit, but it still scares me to go up against a Breeze or a Rivers or a big quarterback like that.
I see exactly what you're saying. If you're in a league that has, incredible negative performances from defenses from time to time, then yes, I would agree with you. But even when you are favored, you still need to put up points. You don't know what's going to happen. I like Kansas City more this week, so I would play them. But I think the point you're bringing up is great. You're not going to have the St. Louis Rams put up 35 on you and, crush you.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. I really don't. So the Saints go to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. This is a very, very high-scoring projected game, over 50 points in Vegas right now. And the Buccaneers are playing well. The Saints, we talked about Brandon Cooks. Maybe that adjusts the line a little bit now that he's in concussion protocol and injured. But Mark Ingram's out. We need to know what to do with our running backs for the New Orleans Saints, because a lot of people picked up Hightower today. A lot of people picked up C.J. Spiller today.
Yeah, it's we honestly don't know. There's been no real clarification. The biggest clarification we've gotten from the Saints was Peyton saying all three guys are going to play, including the rookie. So good luck. Good luck if you're going to just throw a guy out there like Hightower for your fantasy playoffs. I understand. So let's talk worst case scenario. You have no better option. Would you go with Hightower or Spiller?
I would rather go with Hightower, because if they're using him in that Ingram role, that means he's going to get the ball early. He's going to have the first opportunity. He's probably going to touch the ball the most. He's going to be more utilized in the goal line situation. Those type of things, I think, are where you're going to see Hightower used. You saw when he was signed and picked up, he came in and had 11 carries early on.
Well, he's 12 for 48 on the year for 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, so I don't know how everything is going to pan out. Now, if you're in a PPR league, that shifts it a little bit.
Yeah,
especially with Brandon Cooks being gone, they might need to use CJ Spiller as a pass catcher a little bit more. That's obviously new information from yesterday. So if I'm in a PPR, I would probably lean Spiller. If I'm in a half-point PPR or regular, I would lean Hightower.
Hightower is just an incredible story because he hasn't played a game. I mean, he went a gap in his career from 2011 to 2015.
That's wow.
And basically, he didn't play in 2011, so it was basically 2010
He's fresh.
to 2015.
He's very fresh.
I mean, people who hear that name,
well
they go,
rested.
"Wait, do I remember him?" Yeah, he was on the Super Bowl team for the Cardinals in 2008.
Yeah, so if you can pass block as a running back, you can get a job.
And
Yeah,
that
that's what
is
it
the
is.
big knock on CJ Spiller. That's why when the news broke and I was an Ingram owner, I went to Twitter and said, the guy that I'm picking up is Hightower. But the question is, who would you start Hightower?
No one.
over?
Oh, I was saying this is worst case scenario. There's
Would
not
you start Hightower or Jeremy Langford?
Langford.
I would take Hightower. Would you take Hightower or Darren Sproles?
Sproles.
I
Yeah,
would take Hightower.
Probably,
Hightower or
yeah.
Melvin Gordon?
Gordon.
I would go Hightower. So
So
apparently
you
I'm higher
picked
on Hightower
on
than
all three of those.
Yeah.
So you must have some insight.
Isaiah
as to
Crowell or Hightower?
Crowell.
Crowell's got a great matchup this week.
Well,
Yeah.
Crowell he's been getting carries. He's just not been productive. It's a I don't know. I have no idea what the Saints are going to do.
So in general, don't play Hightower. Hold him. See what happens. for
yeah,
a week.
yes.
That's the strategy here. If you can, I mean,
Yeah.
if you can't, if you're completely screwed, if you had no depth, then maybe you have to roll them out there and just take a chance. But the Buccaneers are 7th against the run. They don't give up a ton of yards on the ground. Austin Seferian-Jenkins is a good start in this game, as the Saints are terrible against the tight end and most other metrics for defense in general, which makes Evans and Vincent Jackson good starts. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely.
So Vincent Jackson's somebody that is a tougher decision for people. So would you start Vincent Jackson or DeSean Jackson this week?
I would start DeSean Jackson. The matchup is great for Winston, and the matchup is great for Evans and for
Des
Vincent
Bryant.
Jackson. But one of the problems that you've got here is what we're forgetting. They were all healthy, once before, and there's not enough passes to normally go around to have all three have a productive day, and it was a little bit more of a guessing game. So for me, any one of these guys can have a big monster game, but do you see any world where they all do just because it's New Orleans?
Yes.
I see it as a possibility, but it's the possibility that any of them can, which is
It's the same thing we
logic
saw last night.
where I said start your Cardinals. Now, and it was unfortunate it didn't work out for the Fitzgerald owners, but John Brown, David Johnson, Michael Floyd owners are very happy.
How many games has Jameis Winston thrown for 300 yards?
0
in the whole year.
Yeah, which is why
It's
you
okay.
got
Okay, all right.
But it's touchdowns through the air is what
They're at home.
the Saints are giving up.
Worst defense. A Saints defense that has given up a lot of touchdowns. I would not hesitate to start one of those guys.
Okay. So would you start Vincent Jackson over DeSean Jackson?
No. I start DeSean Jackson. I have Vincent Jackson at 24.
Yeah, DeSean
And
Jackson.
No, I have him basically back to back.
DeSean Jackson is getting a decent target volume for a player of what he does, where you want the big play, but he's still getting 7 targets.
It's close for me. It's close because of the matchups. Yeah. So the weird thing is the Saints have actually not given up a ton of yards to wide receivers over the last few games, so it makes me think ASJ has good potential in the offense, as well as Charles Sims and Doug Martin. We'll see how that breaks down. Obviously, everybody can't have a big game, but the matchup's delicious, and the Buccaneers are trending upwards. Now, the Chargers head to Kansas City, to Arrowhead, to take on the Chiefs. It's funny because it looks like we always have the weather in here. But where the dash is, it looks like it's going to be negative 48 out. So I'm going to like the defenses in that situation. What can we do? Rivers looked like a guy that was playoff startable. Now he looks like a guy that you have to run from as
Phillip
fast
Rivers,
as you can.
I imagine Phillip Rivers right now and the guy from Back to the Future 3 coming up with his measuring tape, and Phillip Rivers has no idea what's going on. The guy says, "Oh, no, I'm just measuring you for your coffin."
I remember that.
Because Phillip Rivers is going to be destroyed. Unfortunately, there's not very many situations where I'm playing Rivers, and by destroyed, I mean his offensive line is in shambles. It has been all year, and the Kansas City Chiefs pass rush is spectacular. That is the strength of their defense, and he won't have enough time. He's going to get hit. He's going to get sacked to the point of
Well, and he doesn't have reliable outside weapons anymore.
correct. Inman. We saw him have that pretty devastating injury last week. Stevie Johnson had a groin. Jason, do you have an update?
Yeah, I was going to say both Stevie Johnson and Dontrell Inman didn't practice at all, and neither did Stevie on Thursday. So
That's not good news.
You're talking about no weapons. Plus,
they went
Keenan
out and
Allen.
signed Vincent Brown for a reason. They are not expecting their guys back.
Yeah, when you don't have good options to throw the ball to, and you've got a pass rush coming to your face like crazy, the one thing that does make me consider a little bit more will be Danny Woodhead. I feel like
I was just about to say that song has been sung 3 weeks in a row. It's over for me.
Yeah,
that's the same.
agree.
It's the same story every week. It's Danny Woodhead's going to be the beneficiary of a bad offense. No, he's not. He's going to be the guy they stop, and they've stopped him every single week.
Well, they haven't really even gone to him. He's been stopped, yes, but he's not getting the targets like he was at the beginning of the season because they're really trying to get Melvin Gordon going.
So, all right, Chark, West, Spencer,
Yes.
where?
What was that? That was very syncopated.
Where in West? Where do we go?
where do we go?
You sounded like Captain Kirk over there.
Make a decision.
Chark
Which running
Henry.
back should we go with?
You got to go with Chart West here. I know that it was very split, and Ware got the touchdown last week. It was split, but West was coming off a pretty nasty hamstring injury. I believe that he is the much better fit for the offense. He is the pass-catching back. I will still lean to him, though I do I feel that both are startable. Ware more as a flex, though. But because the Chargers, their run defense is so bad.
Char West or Gio Bernard for you guys?
That was the question I was literally just going to ask. I think I would go Char West.
I'll go Char West.
Okay, I have Gio a little bit higher. What about Char West or Latavius Murray this week?
Char West.
Char West.
Jeremy Hill?
Char West.
Probably still West.
All right, and then the last guy I want to talk about here is the Jeremy Maclin effect of facing Verdette.
Verrett.
What did I say?
Verdette. You put a D in
Verdette
his name.
was he's a player for the Arizona Coyotes hockey team.
I was going to guess, is that a hocky
Yeah,
mistake?
it is. So Verrett and Maclin, last time they faced each other,
Was not good.
it was not good for Maclin. I'm not going to Macklin's trending in the right direction right now, and I do think this is the type of game that if it goes according to script, which it can, lots of things change. I worry about the passing offense for Kansas City in general. If they can get it done on the ground against one of the worst run defenses in football, if their defense can cause turnovers, short fields, running offense, the yards might not be there. Because we saw this happen with Maclin. Jason, we talked about this before. Maclin had 2 big games, but against against who was it? They played, was it Oakland?
When he had bad games?
Well, he faced somebody where the game was just over.
This is one of those games. It was 33-3 was the final score of
There
this
you go.
game. So it's like, what?
That's the one I'm
why
thinking
would
of.
you use Jeremy? Why would you use your wide receiver at all? You don't need to. And so that's the issue with this game is Kansas City going to come and just blow them out? The truth is, can San Diego score on Kansas City? That's the question of this game.
Yep.
Without their weapons, can they score on Kansas City? Because if they can't, it's not going to be a very great game to play Jeremy Maclin is my guess.
Yeah, so he has been playing great. I still think he's in my lineup because that 33 points has to get distributed somewhere if they scored like they did last time. But it is worrisome that he only had 3 catches in that game, and game flow can be a problem. It's funny how you can spin the perspective on a player both directions, right? Like, we're saying the Kansas City Chiefs are likely to win. Vegas has them as 10-point favorites, and we're saying that could be bad for Maclin.
Well, because the truth is, just like last time, it could be the defense that's scoring. it could be another pick six.
Yeah, I think
Rivers has thrown six
six.
pick sixes on the year. So if the defense,
How many has he?
Six
How many
pick six.
How many
Six
pick
pick
sixes has Phillip Rivers picked? Six.
Can't pick
how
a
many
six
pick
if he
six
six in
would
a
a
pick.
six? There you go.
Wheel
Oh,
of water.
And Alex Smith is the last guy I'm going to touch on. He had 253 yards, but no touchdowns last time he played against San Diego, like we talked about, because the defense was putting a shellacking and the run game was out of control. However, I have Phillip Rivers and Alex Smith on my team, and I am tearing my shirt off like a free man, and I'm putting Alex Smith at the wheel of my team in the playoffs, and I feel very nervous about it.
I like Alex Smith. He was the start of the week last week, put up a 30-point game. He definitely can do it. They're going to score. It's just a matter of where that happens.
He's
So,
running for basically 30 yards a week the last 4 weeks, so that's a nice little bump.
all right, we got to move on. Colts go to Jacksonville, take on the Jaguars. This game's basically a toss-up right now because of the Hasselbeck situation. Blake Bortles coming off a 5-touchdown week. Good game for Yeldon last week. Allen Robinson was a monster. And Julius Thomas on the Jacksonville side is ascending. He's my start of the week at the tight end position. There's a lot of great reasons to like the offense for Jacksonville. Let's talk about the offense for the Colts because I don't think there are a lot of doubts on who you're starting on the other side of the ball. So Frank Gore, T.Y. Hilton. Hilton is the hardest person for me. Almost this whole year has been the hardest person for me to say, oh, yeah, you got to start him this week. He's great.
Yeah, because of what he does best is a direct conflict of what Matt Hasselbeck does best, where Hilton is a spectacular deep ball guy. Now he can take screens and things and get it done, as we've seen. Where 2 weeks ago he had a great game. He had a pair of touchdowns. Even Moncrief got in the action over 100 yards. And I can't recall what Hilton put up last week. What did he put up?
last week he had 3 for 36.
Yeah, it's so just which
So that
is
sums it up.
And
Yeah.
exactly you've got a complete gamble. I
low
think.
floor, high ceiling.
That being said, I would expect him to have better numbers against Jacksonville than he would against
Yes.
the Pittsburgh Steelers, who he
Yes.
put up the 3 for 36. So I'm a little bit more comfortable starting Hilton. The problem is going to be Hasselbeck's shoulder. He's practicing now. He's practicing in full. He's going to start. So there's no worries there. But, again, the deep ball, I think, would be the worry. Frank Gore, to me, is
Why
the
is
Colt
everybody-
that I would want to play.
Well, I was going to say, why is everybody grimacing when they put Frank Gore into their lineup right now?
Because he had a couple games in
Yeah.
a row where he looked like he was not running well, and he was hurt. He was playing, but he was playing hurt, and he didn't run very well. Last week, though, he ran okay. He also got involved.
What did he have last
in the air?
week?
Last week, he was 13 carries, 45 yards on the ground, 3 catches for 49 yards through the air with a touchdown.
So it's really saved his fantasy day with his catching.
Yeah. And today, this week with Hasselbeck with that hurt shoulder, that's a check down Charlie type of situation.
It could be. This is why people are concerned with Frank Gore. The same reason they were at the beginning of the year. He's older. He has so many carries on his body. Can he sustain an entire season? Then you couldn't do this stretch late in the season where he looks like he is slowing down. So, of course, you're going to have concern on him. I don't blame people for it.